Good morning. So, yesterday you had an assignment on what is empathy. And today, what I wanted you to do is have a little more depth in understanding the basics of empathy in terms of when do we develop empathy, how does empathy work, what parts of the brain are activated, and essentially the application of empathy. So, what I have for you are a collection of Edpuzzle activities that kind of go into these concepts. So, one of the first activities is an application of empathy. Um, the application of empathy is from a pretty familiar source. It's a clip from a Pixar film um, that gives you a sampling of what happens when empathy is applied. So this one is titled Listening and Empathy, and it gives you the the concept of what happens when someone is experiencing extreme distress and when someone is trying to distract them rather than engage with them. And then when someone else is actually empathizing, how the interaction is very different. The other activity is one, why do people care about others? This one is from D News, Discovery News Network, and it breaks down the um, scientific uh, construction of the brain, really focusing on the amygdala. So this will tie back to the Newsella article that you had yesterday, detailing where essentially empathy is supposed to be housed in the brain and why one would have empathy versus maybe someone else might not, and whether or not one could be considered a sociopath if they are not capable of empathy. And then lastly, this one is from SciShow and SciShow Psych about when do children develop empathy. Um, the Now, the construct of this Edpuzzle is a little bit different because it goes through and defines a lot of the terminology at the front end of the Edpuzzle, and then it gives a lot of the questions towards the ends of the Edpuzzle. So it's really important that you're paying attention at the beginning because you're going to be hit with a lot of the questions towards the end of the puzzle that have been built on as the video has gone on. So you need to be paying attention at the beginning to make sure you understand the questions at the end. It's not exactly the same setup as normal, um, but it really does have the same construct as others in the sense that all of the answers are there. You just might need to go back and replay it if you missed it. Okay, so those are the blocks that I want you to be working on today in looking at the empathy construct. Okay,